evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?
Welcome back to the Broncos franchise on Madden 22. I'm your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. It is Wildcard weekend here. We're going to be taking on the Jags. We have to play them on the road, even though we are obviously the better team. Another flaw in the NFL playoff system, but it is what it is. They are 8-9, and yet our 12-5 record does not earn us home field advantage for this game. We're going to try and defend the deep pass. We're going to go with the blitz counter strategy, and then these goals are starting to become less and less relevant anymore because we're to the point where staff points just don't mean that much to us at this stage. But no big deal. Get those set. I saw that there were some player upgrades potentially available, so we'll knock those out. There was something else that I think maybe we wanted to try and take care of. Oh, we do have staff points that we'll spend while we've got the opportunity here. And then we've got Wild Card weekend, then the divisional game, the AFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. And if we're going to plan this out to where we play in the Super Bowl and sim every other game in the postseason, the way that we're going to need to do this is actually to simulate this first game, which is another reason why I really wanted to win the bye, because we lose some control this way. I don't want to basically play the first game and then have to sim the next two to get to the Super Bowl, but again, we are trying to make this simulation or this franchise series as realistic as we can for the most part. And if I were to play every game, I would probably win 90+% of the games that I play, and that's not realistic. So we got to kind of take some of that element away by simulating. So anyway, we will sim the game against the Jags, and if we win, we'll play the next one. So let's get in here. We now have 21 staff points to spend. We'll use them here in case we need to try and sign a linebacker this offseason. And then I think we're now ready to jump ahead, right? Yeah. So this is a game we should win. We are the better of the two teams. The only thing they've got going for them is, the home field advantage. So let's see if their team can get it done. Kidding me, we lost. Damn it. 24-21. Ugh. What the hell happened, guys? Bengals beat the Browns. I don't even care. Cowboys beat the Packers. Steelers beat the Bills. Seahawks beat the Panthers. Falcons. They were all pretty good games for the most part. Jacksonville upsets us. We did not run the ball at all. 48 yards rushing. We did a pretty good job defensively. Those numbers are respectable. And we won the turnover battle. But we just fell behind and never got back in this one. Trevor Lawrence, 252, 3 touchdowns, and intercept. We couldn't get any sacks. That's a problem. And then Morris was solid, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice, but he only completed 23 out of 39 attempts. And that's no good. We just never even tried to run the ball. 7 carries for Javonte Williams and 1 for Stevenson. That's just, we got to be better than that. With our play calling. Tim Patrick had a good day. Jerry Jeudy had a good day. I'll tell you what, Michael Gallup in the, games that I've played against him, he seems like he's really good. at least in Madden. For whatever reason, he always gives me trouble. And there, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Laviska Shenault, a decent day. Noah Fant, pretty good day. Conklin. Sutton didn't do a whole lot. Stevenson, nothing. This is just frustrating. Another season ends in disappointment. Only one team gets to win their last game of the year, and it's not us this year. Webster had a nice day, but no sacks. McPherson, 7 tackles, 1 for a loss. There were no sacks for either team. Oh, no. They had 2. Josh Allen had a couple. Who had our interception? Ojemudia. Kicking. Lutz missed a field goal. Brent McManus was 2 for 2. Hit an extra point. Gervasi, 2 punts. Who cares? We freaking lost, and it drives me crazy because that's a game that we should have been able to win. And I'll bet you if we simulate 10, we win 7 or 8 of those 10. So, unbelievable. But that's, that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. So let's go ahead now, since we just got the episode started, we'll crank out the offseason, I guess, while we're at it. So we've got Webster. I'm going to go with slot. He is eventually going to be my boundary corner. And if you take the slot upgrades, a lot of times you get man coverage boosts as well, and sometimes zone. I'm not as worried about the zone for right now. Those 3 are all just, roster fillers. Not worried about them. But I think Webster is going to be a pretty good option for us at corner for a long time. We got a contract extension, and now we have 17 more staff points to spend. We'll go ahead and spend those. Then we will jump into the offseason, which is going to probably be one that's not super busy, but we might actually look to maybe make a trade or two. And like our roster is pretty strong at the moment. In fact, let's get to where we get past all of the last chance to re-sign anybody, and that will allow us to come up with a strategy for the offseason as far as which positions we need, etc. So let's see. In the divisional round, you know what? Let's just simulate all of the games and then go back and look at them. So what are we doing here? All right. So Pro Bowl roster, don't care. Press conference, don't really care about this either. I think you just get some staff points. We're gonna cut loose. We get the 5 staff points. Now, we should be. I was gonna say, aren't there? I think maybe they announced the awards after this week. So when we get to where the Super Bowl is set, is when we can go look at the annual awards. Yeah, here we go. So it's the Jags have played their way into the Super Bowl to take on the freaking Cowboys. 8-9 in the regular season, and then they put it together and get to the. And that's why divisional champions definitely deserve to get in, but they probably would not have made it that far if you would have taken away the home field advantage in that first game. So Kamara gets the MVP. He must have had a heck of a year. Did we have anybody on the list? We did not. And then Coach of the Year, second again. I feel like we've been second like 3 times. Kidding me with this. All right. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. We don't even get honorable mention. Defensive Player of the Year. Joey Bosa wins it. How about this dude? 78 overall. and he finishes 5th. Hey, Bradley Chubb gets 10th. That a boy. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody for us. Kevin Archer for the Jags. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dang it, I wanted Webster to get it. But this guy must have had a heck of a year for the Steelers. I wish it would show you their position and stuff. Because, like, at this point, I don't know what position half of these guys even play. So, anyway, best QB. How about this? Brett Morris, 2nd. So, you know, when we drafted him, I was kind of bummed that he wasn't a mobile quarterback. But he has done very well for us. So, like, I'm thrilled with what he brings to the table for us at this point in his career. Joe Mixon is just a beast. 99 overall. He's incredible. Najee Harris, 99. Derrick Henry is now just a 98. What a chump. Nick Chubb, 99 overall. There's Josh Jacobs, 95. And Javonte Williams, 7th on this list. Working his way up there, but we're too balanced of a team. How about Jerry Jeudy getting best wide receiver? That a boy. So we're taking home some hardware this year. Best O-line. Look, the Chiefs have the top 3. Then they've got Orlando Brown, who's 6th. Do they have... No, they don't have their 5th guy on here. But that's ridiculous. Best D-lineman, Myles Garrett. Nobody for us, huh? Bradley Chubb, 3rd, behind Bosa and Watt. It's pretty good company. Best DB, Tre'Davious White, and then nobody for the Broncos. Best kicker, McManus finished 7th. Evan McPherson, this dude kicking for the Bengals has been absolutely money this postseason. And even in that last game of the regular season, who did they play? I can't remember. Or who am I? No, I'm thinking of the game against the Raiders where he hit like 4 field goals. Joe Mick. Okay, so let's just look at the NFC now. So, Offensive Player of the Year, Kamara. Defensive, Khalil Mack still getting it done at his age. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Joe Hayden. Dorian LaMontagne for the Rams. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Russell Wilson, Best QB. Alvin Kamara, Best Running Back, no surprise. Adam Thielen, Best Wideout for the 3-14 Giants. Okay, Zach Martin. So the Cowboys getting some pretty good representation on that list with 3 of the top 6. Best D-line is Burns. Aaron Donald, 2nd. He's still a 98 overall. Khalil Mack, Best Linebacker. Best DB, Jordan Fuller, 83 overall, but he must have had a good year. And then Ben Ramsey, young kicker for the Panthers, getting some hardware. All right. Now that we've got that, let's go ahead and simulate the Super Bowl. And why do I have... Oh, I only have 11 staff points. I don't think that's enough to get me anything. I was like, why does it tell me I need to buy some stuff? So let's see who wins Super Bowl 58. I think this would... Oh, Super Bowl 59. So, Super Bowl 59, the Cowboys edge out the Jags by a touchdown and take that one. Don't need to see the season recap. I don't think there's anything that we need to do on this list. Let's go ahead and advance week. And now is where there will be 1 week where I think it might give us a chance to re-sign some guys, but I don't think there's anybody that I want to. So we'll just zip right through that. Oh, let's actually look at retirements. And then we'll get into the free agency window. So let's just go division by division. So Cam Hayward, Terron Armstead finally retiring. Ryan Tannehill hanging it up. Gronk has still been playing. Nobody in the AFC West, NFC North. Stephon Gilmore, Von Miller hanging him up. He's a Hall of Famer. Taylor Lewan, pretty good player. Zach Martin, Darius Slay, Nick Easton, Lane Johnson. Devin McCourty. I wonder if he's a Hall of Famer. All right, so that's it. Nobody like crazy noteworthy there, as far as like all-time legends. But anyway, all right, I think that's it here. So like you see, it says this is the last week to re-sign players at the top there, but there's nobody that we want to. I could go into roster and do that. Like if you go into where it says manage roster, you can still like franchise tag people, but nobody we want to do that with. So let's get here and take a look at our roster now that everybody is gone, that we didn't re-sign, and come up with a game plan for this offseason. So if we look at our roster, we'll have quarterback covered with Morris and Minshew. Halfback is covered. We've actually got 4 that are solid, 3 that I'm fine playing at any time. Hawkins is pretty one-dimensional, but we don't have much chance of having to use him. Good at fullback. Okay, so wide out. We only have 3, so we need a like 4 and 5 depth kind of wide out. So we definitely need to focus some attention there. We'll probably get 1 through free agency that we'd be okay using as a slot receiver or as a deep threat wide out, and then we'll draft 1. Tight end, we're good. Left tackle, we're good. Because Bowles, how long did we bring him back? Did we just bring him back for the 1 year? Am I remembering that right? Yeah. So he's going to be the starter this year, and then I would probably be okay with Lindsey Green stepping in as the starter there next year, because he'll probably be like a 77-ish at that point. Although his real value is not 75. He's a 74. So he'll probably be like a 76 or 77 and pretty well balanced. That's good enough to be a starter. Even if he's not like great, he'll be okay. Moody at guard. So we're good at left guard. We're good at center. We're good at right guard. We need a... Wait a minute. Can I not just... I could move one of these guys over, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go find a second right tackle. Alright. Left end. We're good there. Age maybe slowly going to start to become an issue with Jones, but we're okay for right now. We are really good at right end at the moment. D tackle, I kind of want a 4th that's better than Jackson. So we're going to put D tackle 4 with a question mark. It's not critical, but it's something that I wouldn't mind. Having 3 is fine in a 3-4 defense. We need a left outside linebacker, y'all. Because Malik Reed is not going to be the starter for us this year. He's 29 years old, 71 overall. That's just not going to get her done. We probably need a middle linebacker 4. Browning I would be okay with as like the second option in the 3-4, or even Van Buren. They're decent enough that I don't think they're going to hurt us that much. But we could get better there. So let's actually call that middle linebacker 2 to 4, because they can fit anywhere in that range as far as where they're going to land on the depth chart. And then we need a right outside linebacker 2. So we need help at linebacker. Corner, we're good with these 4, but we should get a 5th. Just to have another one on the roster in case somebody gets injured. But like, we don't have any issues with age yet. OJ Mudia is getting close, but he's still pretty darn good. Webster is going to close the gap on the ability spectrum with him, so we'll be in good shape there. We're good at free safety. We need a second strong safety. And if there's a stud strong safety in the draft, I think we try and get one. We also need a kicker. So that's it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 guys that I've got on the to-do list. Now let's go look at free agents. So wide receiver, we need to get a number 4 receiver. Somebody who's like a 75-ish overall, pretty good in the slot, or is a good physical, route runner or whatever. See, like right here, Terrace Marshall, he's 25 years old, he's 6'3", and he's known as a deep threat. That kind of lines up with about what we're looking for here. He's got no bids. All we're going to use him for is as our 4th receiver, basically just run and go routes. I'm going to make this a 2-year offer. I'm going to leave the signing bonus where it is, and I'm actually going to drop your salary down. In fact, I'm even going to drop your bonus down. So I'll bet he's going to like this offer anyway. Yeah, 85 is pretty darn good. So that's fine there. We can get another wide receiver in the draft, and it doesn't really matter how good they are because they won't play much this year. All right. We need a backup right tackle. I'm going to try and find one here. Here we go. Travis Finney, 25 years old. See, this guy's 20. See, there's a bid out for this guy, which I don't really care for because I don't need anybody that's that good because they're just going to be a backup. Brandon Parker still sucks as much as he does in real life. How about this dude here? If he's even remotely balanced, oh man, he's terrible. Okay, let's go back up here and find, how about Will Richardson? I think he's decent, isn't he? Yeah, we'll give him a 1-year deal to come in and be the backup for us. You're not going to get that much of a signing bonus, and we're going to reduce your salary, but, oh yeah, he's 100% going to take that offer. Let's now look at linebacker. D-tackle is one that I kind of could look at, but it's not critical. I can just try and get one in the draft, and if we get a good one, fine. If we don't, it's no big deal. But we need a starting left outside linebacker. Khalil Mack is out there, but there's going to be competition for him, and I don't need that in my life. He's only getting 1-year offers anyway. He's 34 years old. It'd be nice to have him on the other side of Bradley Chubb because that would be freaking dangerous. Let's actually put him on the maybe list as, like, we'll come back to it and look at him because, like, I don't think Kenny Young is our answer. We let him go because we don't think he's that good. If I can get Khalil Mack, and we've got the money for it, that would solve that problem and probably make us the favorite to win the AFC next year. So let's kind of put that at the top of our potential to-do list this offseason. Now we got to find another kind of like depth middle linebacker. How about this Tavai? He's decent in pass coverage. I think this'll work just fine. We're gonna make it a 1-year deal. We're gonna reduce your signing bonus because it's just a 1-year deal anyway. 1 year, 3.1 mil. If you don't take it, fine. I don't need you that bad anyway, because I can just draft somebody in that position if I really needed to. What's out here at right outside linebacker? See, there's not much here either. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and sign Khalil Mack. Now, I don't know what the other offers are that are out there. But I'll bet you they are 1-year offers as well. I'm just going to make the offer here at 18.7 million, and I'll bet you it's at the top of the list. We can afford it, and I want him. So let's do that and see if we can get him. Yeah, we are way out in front. That could be a huge signing for us. Now, the other thing that I want to try and do so that we have the ability to maybe go and get a strong safety of the future with our first pick is I'm going to try and get that number 5 corner for like the very bottom of our depth chart. So we're coming down here to like the low 70s and looking for somebody that's like 25, 26 years old. Michael Carter could be the one. How about right here? He's only 24 years old. There is a competitive bid for him, which kind of stinks, because I don't want to be competing for you when you're just a depth guy anyway. And see here, if you're young at this position, somebody probably wants you. So let's see if we can get this guy right here. It'd be a nice addition to our depth because he's a pretty good player. Make it a 3-year offer, and let's just go with the straight-up offer that he's asking for, because we've got pretty good room in the cap right now that I want to just go get the players that we want. All right, let's advance here and see what happens. Because if we get the guys that we've made offers for, I think we're pretty much ready to jump into the draft. So, because we had a wide receiver, we had a tackle, we had a left outside linebacker, a middle linebacker, I think we made an offer, didn't we? And then a corner. That's like half of the spots that we needed to try and fill. All right. Okay, so we got our middle linebacker. He accepted that deal, even though he wasn't super crazy about it. We got the corner. Not surprised. We got Khalil Mack. So, basically, this is the Broncos putting the NFL on notice that this is going to be our year. Because going into this draft now, there's no position that I need a starter for except for kicker. I would like to get a strong safety of the future, and I would like to get a pretty good defensive tackle or wideout. I'm thinking wideout would be the priority, but only because we already have Johnston and Sean, what's his name, in that role right now, to where I think we're in pretty good shape. So what I'm going to do now, I don't have to do anything else with free agency. I'm going to go ahead and cut transmission, get everything ready for the draft, and then we'll jump in and talk strategy for the draft whenever we are ready to jump into it. All right, guys, so it is now time for the NFL draft. But before we jump in to that, I want to show you the latest mock draft. So we'll start from the top and work our way down. And basically what we're looking for, as far as our 2 top priorities in this draft, it's going to be strong safety. As far as, I think we would like to get us a strong safety of the future. And beyond that, there's nothing critical. The other positions, though, that are kind of up there on my list are wide receiver, where we're okay right now, but we only have 4 guys on the roster, so we need to get a 5th, and they've got to be decent. So that's probably our 2nd pick this year. Then we need a backup outside linebacker, right outside linebacker, but that's nothing super critical. We've got Bradley Chubb right there. He's still going to be pretty good for a few more years. So if we look at wide receiver, there goes Courtney Watkins. He was the #1 ranked wide out, and he goes 9th to San Fran. Then Cheeks goes 11th to the Raiders. Then it's Racy Vick. This guy I actually really like, and I'll show you why shortly. He goes 15th overall to the Colts. And that one kind of stings because I really wanted to try and get him, but I don't think it's going to happen. Unless we get real crazy with trades, and I just don't see that happening. Then you got Sean Crawford going 19th to the Packers. So 4 wide receivers off the board already, and we haven't even had a chance to take our first pick. And then this one right here is noteworthy. Luke Burke, strong safety out of Oklahoma, going 22nd to the Bills. And I'll show you why that's relevant here shortly. Now, they've got us taking Marcus Webster with the 24th pick. Well, look at him, because we do need a backup right outside linebacker. And this guy is a pretty decent looking player. B block shedding, B pursuit, B tackling. His physicals are all pretty respectable. Nothing earth-shattering there, but he's solid across the board. And then, like here, all A's and B's tell me that this guy is probably pretty well polished and could contribute right away. But we don't need a right outside linebacker that can contribute right away. What we need is a strong safety that can contribute, like, starting next year as the starter. So here's what we want to look at. I think this is our top priority for this draft. So I will show you these 2 guys first so that we kind of work our way back to Luke Burke. We don't know any of the key ratings for Keith Whitfield. He's 6'4", 195. He does have pretty good top-end speed, and his physicals all around aren't like super impressive, with the exception of that 40 time. So, maybe some concerns there. And then when we look here, D awareness really worries me at safety. So I think that is going to be a pass, or at least not a guy that I'm really high on for a first round pick. Then we get to Darius Edwards. He's got D for man coverage. His physicals are not very impressive. He's got slow 40 time. His agility and quickness aren't that great. His strength isn't even very impressive. So just not a lot, that looks really good here. And the fact that he's not good at man coverage, we don't know his play recognition, we don't know his awareness or his zone coverage. That'd be a hard sell to get me to pick that guy. Now, Luke Burke, which, remember, the Bills take him 22nd according to the mock draft. He's got C for man coverage, which is decent, but not great. Then he's 6'2", 206. So here is where things get interesting, because he's got the best 40 time, 3-cone drill, and shuttle time in the entire draft class. He can jump. The only thing that he kind of lacked a little bit was the bench reps. But those aren't deal breakers. And then he's got A, awareness, and B, play recognition. So I think this guy's a hidden dev trait waiting to happen. And I want him. Now, to get him, we've got to trade up either to where the Bills are or ahead of them, which is more realistic as far as what would happen if this were really, the situation at hand. Because the Bills aren't going to trade us their draft pick when they kind of know that we're maybe thinking about taking a strong safety. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the old roster here. We've got to try and trade up to 21st, somewhere in the 18 to 21st range is kind of what we're looking for here. And to get it, I don't necessarily want to trade away a player. What picks do we have this year? Do we have all of them? Looks like we do. So we've got a pick for every round. I think we've got to give up our 24. And then let's maybe just see if like a 4th round pick is enough to get us like up to 21st, just ahead of the Bills, and get us that safety that we're wanting. So let's go here. So we're looking for whichever team has the 21st draft pick. So there's the Bills. And it's the Browns. Let's just go ahead and make this offer and see if they take it. There you go. All right, so now we're in position to go ahead and start the draft. That'll get us, barring disaster, that should get us that strong safety. And that's the key to this year's draft class. Beyond that, like I said, we're kind of looking for a wideout and an outside linebacker. We do need to draft a kicker. Excuse me. And then maybe a depth defensive tackle, but it's not super critical. Wait, I don't want to go here.
Okay, it's the Rams up now. They're on the clock.
I want to pause the draft. And now I want to skip ahead to our pick.
The Broncos are on the
All
clock
right.
now.
So if we go here, I'm sure Burke is going to still be here, right? Oh, would that hurt if he wasn't? There he is. So no question, we go ahead and we draft him. And we really, really want that hidden dev trait here because this is a guy that we're hoping can be a starter for a long time. Yes, and that speed of 94 is pretty darn impressive. For a strong safety, that is insane. So he could be a serious playmaker for us for a while. And he's got a year to develop because we've got a guy in front of him that will be the starter this year. Now what I want to actually do is go in and show you the draft board as far as what's remaining at wide receiver, because there is one guy that I'm kind of interested in right here. He's the next one on the board, so he's going to be hard to get if we want to try and get him, but I'm kind of thinking about it. He's got B catching and C release, which, the catching is pretty good. The release is just okay, but he's young. He's 5'11", which is kind of undersized, but he's super duper fast. As you can see here, the 40 time in the low 4.3s is really good. He was also among the best in the cone drill and the shuttle, so he's just super, super fast. He's actually got a decent vertical. He's not super strong, but he actually did pretty well in the bench reps at the Pro Day, 9th, which is impressive for a guy his size. I think this could be a hidden dev trait. He's got a little bit of work to do to get, kind of polished at route running and such. But what I might do is let the draft go a few picks, and if it's like 10th in the 2nd round before he comes off the board, we will strongly consider trading up to try to get him. I don't think it's going to happen, but we're going to go ahead and skip one at a time until either the 11th pick of the 2nd round or he comes off the board. So it's extremely unlikely, but the one thing that makes it somewhat possible is the fact that a bunch of wide receivers already got drafted, so there's, those few teams are not going to be picking a wide receiver with their 2nd round pick, obviously.
The Jaguars
Although, you know what else we should do? Actually, let me look at this. That outside linebacker that was on the board, what was the dude's name? Marcus Webster. He actually could be a pretty solid pick. BBB for the key ratings, that's really good. His physicals are all pretty decent. And here, he's all A's and B's. A, play recognition. He can shed blocks. He can make tackles. He's got good pursuit. So, like, this could be a really good outside linebacker. Granted, I don't need him right now. But I'm wondering if maybe he might be there around that same time. So let's just keep an eye out for either Ford or Webster still being there whenever we get to the like around the 10th pick of the second round.
The Giants are
There
on
goes
the clock now.
another tackle.
On the clock now, it's the
There
Rams,
goes
and
Jeremy
time is ticking.
Ford. So he's gone. Oh, man, I almost should look at who is looking for a linebacker, but I
All
don't
right,
care
on the clock
that
now,
much,
the Lions.
frankly.
Okay, the Chargers up now.
If he's
They're on the
there,
clock.
it would be massive.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Come on, stay there. Stay
And
on the board
Eagles
for
on
me,
the clock
dude.
Now, let's see what direction they go.
Oh, Titans, don't do it to me.
All right, it's now the 49ers' turn. They're up.
I have a feeling that the 49ers are going to take him.
Okay.
No,
here we
they
go.
didn't.
The Jets now on the clock.
All right, we're now basically where we'd have to trade up 14 spots. We're going to try and do it. I want that guy. He's still on the board. I think he's a first-round caliber player. And if we can get him partway into the second round without giving up a ton, I think it's worth it. So let's see if we can trade a second and a fifth to move up to that spot. We'll see if the old Jets will take it, but I am not super confident. I don't want to give up a ton because, just for obvious reasons, but I think this guy could be a hidden dev trait. Or,
We've got some action here, folks.
okay, they took it.
We'll have the details
All right,
rolling.
so we're giving up some of our late round picks to move up with our early round picks to get the guys that we want. I see value in that because we don't need to go to the 4th or 5th round trying to find a hidden gem when we can get guys early that we know are really good. So let's go ahead and scoop up another Webster to join the family. What was the guy's name? Marcus? Marcus Webster. You're my dude, and I'm happy with this pick.
Okay, here we go. The Raiders now.
And hidden dev trait. Heck yes! So we're 2 for 2 on that front. Now we need a wide receiver, a defensive tackle, and a kicker. Now we don't have a 4th or 5th round pick. So this could be a little bit challenging here.
Are on the clock. Who do they have?
I think we're going to try and get a wide receiver here. The defensive tackle is not that big of a deal. So, all right. So Sergio Francois, if you remember, he was one of those guys that they like highlighted earlier as like a prospect profile or whatever, or one of the news stories where like he went to a small school or something. The dude has really good hands. He can catch, and he's got decent catching in traffic, decent deep route, decent release. He's 6'4", 225, so he's a big body receiver. Which I have grown to like that kind of, archetype. Speed's not anything super impressive, but he can jump, and he does have pretty good strength. So he's got the physical, assets to be a pretty decent receiver. He can't run medium routes, but he does run short routes pretty well. So, I think this is a guy that we might be able to get some use out of. And given the fact that we already had a highlight on him, we'll just give him a chance and see what we get. He's probably like a high 60s right out of the gates, and somebody that might get some playing time in the event of an injury or whatever. So we'll see if he turns into anything decent down the road. Now we don't have a pick until the 6th round, and we need a kicker. We need a defensive tackle and a kicker. Now, neither of those positions are super
All right,
important,
the Broncos
frankly,
are now on the clock.
to me. I can go get a free agent kicker if I really need one. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find the best prospect available at defensive tackle. And then we will go and try and get a kicker. Like, there's one kicker that I kind of have my eye on, this guy right here. And it's because if we go to physicals, it says that he's got good kick power. That's the only thing I'm looking for, and that was the best of anybody. Everyone else was either like solid or poor or whatever. So he's our guy when it comes to kickers. We just want to try and get him in the 7th round. Now here, there's only one guy that was even projected as a day 3 selection. Let's see what he's got. B finesse moves, C tackling. He's 6'2", 299. The physicals actually aren't that bad for this deep in the draft. So I think we'll just go ahead and take him. It's the 6th round. It doesn't matter that much. If he's only like a 62 or whatever, he's just, you know, a roster filler anyway. If he's a 68, great. If he would have been a hidden dev trait, even better. But not a big deal. All right. Last but not least, let's see if we can't get that kicker. What was his name? Price?
On the clock now. It's the Broncos, and time is ticking.
So I think this will end up eventually being a pretty good draft class for us yet again. There, Drew Price. Just grab him up. Doesn't matter about the dev trait or anything. Kick power 92 is, but it's probably the best that was out there. So we'll take it. All right, that is it. So now, let's get back and see what we got in this draft class. So, where are you at? Draft recap. We've got strong safety, Luke Burke, out of where? Oklahoma? 77 overall. That's pretty darn good, and close to as good as who we already have anyway. Then you've got Webster, 71 overall, and a hidden dev trait. All right, so I feel pretty good about that pick right there. Those two right there as our 1st and 2nd round picks, I feel pretty darn good about. Now here, I feel like we actually got a steal. In the 3rd round, he's a 70 overall. I do wish he had the hidden dev trait, but you know, he's got decent speed, and like the quickness and everything aren't that bad. And then if we go to where's catching? He's got 84 for catching, which is actually, you know, pretty decent, especially for a rookie. So I think he could end up being pretty good for us. This guy was a bust. Not real worried about it. And then Price, a 70 overall kicker. 92 kick power is a little lower than what I would like. I would have liked about a 94. But it's not the end of the world. So, all in all, pretty happy with that draft class. Those first 3 obviously are where we spent the most of our attention, and it turned out pretty well. Actually, no, I want to go back in there because I want to look at some of the guys that we kind of thought about drafting and see how they turned out. So, we need to change this from Browns to the NFL. And now, okay. So, where is what was his name? Racy Vick. 74 overall. Can I see if he's a hidden dev? Oh, he's not a hidden dev trait. So I'm actually glad that we didn't get crazy trying to get him. I'm surprised that he's not. And then there was, okay, so Sean Crawford, also a 74 overall. Was he a hidden dev trait? Nope. Then there's Burke, 77. with the hidden dev trait. So when you look at the first round draft picks, 77 is the best of anybody in the entire draft class. And we got him. Now, here's Latwan Knox, 77 overall corner, but not a hidden dev trait. So I feel like we won the first round. So you got that. Now, in the second round, there goes Jeremy Ford, who, remember, we were considering trying to trade up to get if we could have got him around, 10th in the second round. He's a 75 overall, which is the best of the wideouts so far, and hidden dev trait. So that's a good pick for the Giants. Good D tackle there. Who else were we considering? There's Webster. I don't think there was anybody else. See, remember, this was one of the guys that was highlighted in the stories. 76 hidden dev trait. Pretty darn good for a rookie running back. I don't think there was anybody else that we were really eyeballing all that much. So I don't think there's a whole lot else worth spending time on, frankly. All right. Good enough. Good draft class. I really, really like what we got in that strong safety. I'm happy with the outside linebacker that we got. And the wideout, I'm also okay with the, obvious wish there being, it would have been nice had he been a hidden dev trait. But all in all, another pretty good offseason for the Broncos. We'll have to kind of see how it all shakes loose, but we got a veteran stud in Khalil Mack to bolster this defense. The offense, I think, if anything, gets better this year. The defense definitely gets better this year. So look out for the Broncos in the AFC. Now, in the next episode, we will start with all of the preseason stuff and week 1 action. So the preseason stuff will be pretty brief. We'll play game 1 against the Steelers. Looks like we're on the road. And then we will probably win and simulate game 2 in that episode, but we'll see. So that is going to do it for this one. If you have not done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?